Marty Sugarman, take two. So Marty, give me give me a little surf story. Give me a little surf story here.
What do you want to know?
Maybe talk about
Micky Dora?
always.
Well, Micky Dora is a living legend to this day. I had the good fortune of surfing with them practically every day at State Beach, Will Rogers. Micky used to tell people, they asked him, why do you surf State Beach? And he would always say, because Marty Sugarman surfs there, and that's where I learned to surf, learn how to surf. I said, that's a great compliment, but it's not true. But anyway, I'll tell you a few Micky Dora stories that probably have never been heard or published before. One day, this is true. This is a true story. Hold on, let me take a hit. Okay. Micky and I, we went up to Rincon. It was a huge day at Rincon. It was foggy and it looked cold, it looked like the North Pole. So Micky, we drive down, and Micky said he knew the coastline like a Daniel Boone knew where the Buffalo was located. He said to me, he said, Marty, the only place that can hold a swell is the overhead. Now the overhead is between Rincon and California Street. So we drove down and we looked. He was right. So we parked the car, and before he went out, he said, Marty, here's something that I thought about last night. Why don't you, there's a box of footage that Grant Roloff took, and some other guy from the Valley, forget his name. This footage no one has ever seen before. He said, what you do, we can make money on this. I said, Micky, if it's illegal, I'm not into it. So he said, no, it's legal. I swear to God it's legal. Well, his word was worth nothing. So I said, for the hell of it, let me hear your little scheme. Now, Micky, in a lot of ways, was like Donald Trump. He didn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. He was dyslexic, by the way. Not very many people knew that. So he said, Marty, look, I'm willing to disappear. I'll go skiing up at Mammoth for a month or two. What you do is you take this board, this Greg Knoll shitty model that they made for me, and chop it up. It was called the cat model. He said, my trunks, the famous trunks that I wore during the Duke contest. It says Duke Moco on it, surf contest. It's comparable to Greg Knoll's trunks, the striped trunks. He was standing on the beach looking at Waimea, huge, and he had the board and standing there with these striped trunks. They became a signature model for Greg Knoll. Likewise, the Duke Moco trunks, the black trunks, became a signature model for Micky. So he said, take the trunks with you. I said, are you certain you want to do this? He says, yeah. Let me take another hit. Okay. So then he said, chop up the board and sell the pieces as relics. And what we'll do is we'll find some ashes. we'll start a fire, and we'll burn eucalyptus leaves. This is what the Chumash Indians did, and they went into a different realm, the world of fantasy. So at that time, we're driving back. Then he said, Marty, what you do is you rent a movie theater out, and you set up the booth inside the theater. One pile would be the relics, the other pile would be Mickey's ashes. So then what you do is you hire a Sikh who wears a turban. Surfers are not that smart. Not a lot of them are smart, but I'm the holder. Kind of like country people, you know, missing teeth. Anyway, Mickey said, you tell the Sikh to sell the spoonful of ashes, and if they swallow, let's say 6 spoonfuls of the ashes, they would surf like me. I said, okay, Mickey. Never followed through with it.
What about your go out at the overhead? Did you you two went out? Both you went out there?
Yeah, I mean, he went out and I had to go out with him. And
You the only two out?
Yeah. It's
As big as it gets?
It was big. So I took off on the first wave, went over the falls. Mickey surfed it like a pro, you know. And I asked him, I said, Mickey, give me a boost. Why don't you tow me into the shore break? He flipped me off. You know, what's interesting, Mickey, I rode for Gordon Smith for a while, and Skip Fry made me a Skip Fry model. It was the best board I ever had. Mickey said, that board looks like it's magical, let me ride it. So I let him ride it. Do you know, the next day, the 4 of us, Snakebite, Stouffer, Frenchman, George Samama, myself, and Mickey, we went up to Malibu. By the time we got to Malibu, my board was gone. It was not on the top of the roof. Apparently Mickey took it and stuffed it down a manhole in the parking lot at State Beach. That's the type of person he is. Not to be trusted.
Not to be trusted.
But you know, he was funny. People either really hated him. You know, he was not a fighter. I mean, in the water, he could kick out on someone, and that someone say, "Come on, let's duke it out." Mickey, my face. He goes, "My face. It's perfect. What would happen if I had a broken nose?" You know, he was in the movies.
Yeah. My first time I saw him, I was my first day of lifeguarding at Surfrider Malibu.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, says, there's Mickey coming down. This was in 1966.
Yeah.
Because that's Micky Dora. He's coming down. And at that time, somebody that's the lifeguard tower at State Beach had burned down.
Right, he did that.
And then, I don't know if he did that or not, but that was his rumor.
Take it from me.
He did it?
He also poured sulfuric acid, which smells. You can't get rid of the smell for weeks. He did that.
On the tower?
He hated Don Rohr.
Is that right?
Yeah, they had a mutual dislike for one another. Yeah.
Anyway, I can't tell you, I peed in my pants, man, my lifeguard trunks when they said that Micky Dora. I was a little tiny kid, and here was this myth walking down the beach who I was just told burned down the station at State Beach.
Yeah, he was a great surfer.
A great surfer. I believe me, I studied his surfing to the T, man. I tried to emulate him every time I could.
You know, he was genius to, he had radar like a dolphin. He would perceive waves. He'd paddle to a location and all of a sudden a wave would pop up.
Just intuitive. All right, we're at the time. We're at the end of this phase one, chapter one of Marty Sugarman surfing with Micky Dora. So say, I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later.
Ciao.
Ciao.